This is the Washington Times front page for Wednesday, January 31st, 2024. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. House Speaker Mike Johnson has been pressuring two committees to meld their competing bills to rewrite the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. Kerry Pickett reports the Speaker is forcing members of the Judiciary Committee and Intelligence Committee to get on the same page before an April deadline. Johnson gave the committees until the start of April to settle on a single bill to overhaul FISA to strengthen his position to negotiate with President Biden and Senate Democrats. A top issue is FISA's Section 702, which grants the government broad powers to collect mass quantities of electronic communications to look for evidence of foreign plots and dangers. The House Homeland Security Committee has initially approved articles of impeachment against Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Stephen Dinan reports the two articles passed the panel on a party-line 18-15 vote. Speaker Mike Johnson has signaled he wants a quick floor vote to follow. Republicans say his mismanagement of the border should make him the first sitting cabinet member ever to be impeached. Democrats acknowledge they have little chance of derailing the impeachment in the full House and spent much of the day laying the groundwork for Mayorkas' defense when the matter moves to the Senate. The Defense Department's Inspector General says that the Pentagon for years has lacked a coordinated approach to detecting, analyzing, and cataloging UFO sightings by U.S. service members. Ben Wolfgang reports the study declassified this week examines how various arms of the military approach sightings of what the government now calls UAP. The issue has been thrust into the forefront in recent years because of a string of high-profile sightings by military personnel, deep interest from lawmakers of both parties, and accusations of decades-long UFO cover-ups by the federal government. The IG report highlights how the military struggled to develop a uniform system to address UFOs. Specifically, the study says the department has not used a coordinated approach to detect, report, collect, analyze, and identify UAP, and that military branches often use different processes to track and analyze sightings. Young voters are threatening to stay home as President Biden desperately tries to capture the youth vote in the November election. Jeff Murdoch reports the president has launched several policy initiatives aimed at alleviating young voters' disappointment. In the past 2 weeks, he imposed a moratorium on liquefied natural gas export permits, canceled $5 billion in student loan debt, and participated in events touting abortion rights. The White House last fall launched a strategy for Vice President Kamala Harris to visit college campuses to appeal to young voters on key issues such as abortion rights and gun safety. A year-long study by Arizona State University has found that identity-focused terms dominated the syllabus content of introductory U.S. history courses. By contrast, Sean Salai reports, the study said the materials overlooked events such as America's founding, the Civil War, and World War II. Some historians reached for comment welcomed the report's findings, but others criticized its characterization of the courses, which the report left anonymous. The commission behind the report is chaired by and includes former Republican political leaders. And finally, North Korea has test-fired a range of what it said were submarine-capable cruise missiles into the Yellow Sea. Andrew Salmon reports the tests mark the third set of cruise missile launches within 7 days for the regime of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/frontpage or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in your favorite podcast app. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.